Alright, now let's look at our first question. Please always mark the keyword because it will help you to arrive at the correct answer quickly, saving time. Option A says one-way chi-square test. One-way chi-square test detects changes in frequency across a single categorical variable, making it suitable for identifying shifts in class proportions. Looks good, that's what we need. We can keep it. Option B says Jensen-Shannon distance. Jensen-Shannon distance measures divergence between two probability distributions, making it useful for quantifying similarity but not for statistical testing of categorical frequency changes what we are looking. Option B is therefore out. If you want the PDF version of this course, please enroll in Diamond membership or above by clicking the join button now. Once enrolled, please connect and inbox me on LinkedIn at the rate of Cloud Guru Amit or Instagram at the rate of Amit Physique. I'll be glad to help you out with the PDF version of this course, including hands-on files when available for this course. Now let's move to option C. C says two-way chi-square test. Two-way chi-square test evaluates the relationship between two categorical variables, making it suited for dependency analysis rather than detecting shifts in one variable's proportions. Wrong answer. We'll move to now option D. D says Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, that is KS test. KS test compares cumulative distributions of continuous data, making it unsuitable for analyzing categorical class frequency. We'll delete this. We'll lock option A, one-way chi-square test, as the right answer. Alrighty, now let's look at this question. This is all about concept drift. Option A says the system's latency will reduce. Latency is influenced by system performance, not by changes in data pattern. Hence incorrect. Option B says the system's accuracy will improve. Concept drift introduces mismatch, which leads to performance drop, not enhancement. Therefore, wrong answer. We'll move to now option C. C says the system's latency will increase. Drift affects prediction relevance, not processing speed. We'll delete this. We'll move to option D. D says the system's accuracy will degrade. Concept drift causes the model's learned patterns to misalign with evolving data, making it suitable for explaining reduced accuracy. That being said, option D is the right answer. Let's bring the heat to the snow. This is all about suspecting label drift is affecting recent predictions. Option E says the link between input features and target labels. Concept drift is a change in the relationship between input features and target labels, while label drift is a change in distribution of target labels. Hence, incorrect. Now let's move to option B. B says the distribution of predicted labels generated by the model. Prediction output may vary, but label drift concerns the true label distribution. Hence incorrect. Let's move to option C. C says the distribution of the actual target labels. Label drift reflects a shift in the underlying target label distribution over time. Let's keep it. Now let's move to option D. D says a distribution of input features. Input variation relates to feature drift, not label drift. We'll delete this. We'll lock option C as the right answer. Okay, let's look at this. We need to identify drift in the production model. Option E says all listed conditions must be satisfied before deployment. Not all conditions are required. Recent data performance is the critical factor. Hence incorrect. Option B says the updated model must outperform the previous model on a random portion of the available data. Random subsets may not reflect current drift patterns. Wrong choice. We'll move to now option C. C says the updated model must outperform the previous model across the entire available dataset. Historical data may not represent current trends affected by drift. We'll delete this. Now let's move to the last option. It says the updated model must outperform the previous model on the most recent portion of the data. Drift affects current data behavior, making recent performance the most relevant benchmark. That being said, option D is the right answer. Alrighty, let's look at this question. So we got to mention or find out what task should be executed in the step number 4. Option A says update the model using newly added feature variables. Updating the model is a response to drift, not a detection mechanism, hence incorrect. Now let's move to option B. B says compare actual feature values with predicted outputs. Comparing actual values with predictions relates to concept drift, not feature drift. Wrong answer. Let's move to C. C says record the time taken for model predictions. Measuring prediction time is a performance metric, not a data integrity check. We'll delete this. We are left off with option D. It says apply statistical testing to detect shifts in feature variable distributions over time. Statistical testing reveals whether feature distributions have shifted, which is essential for drift detection. That being said, option D is the right answer. Okay, now let's look at this question. Option A says streaming. Streaming deployment handles continuous input but may introduce buffering delays unsuitable for fast individual predictions. Hence incorrect. Option B says real time. Real time deployment delivers immediate predictions from a central location, making it suitable for fast, low volume inference. Let's keep it. Let's move to option C. C says batch. Batch deployment processes data in bulk, which delays response time for low volume prediction needs. Wrong answer. We'll move to now option D. D says edge or on device. Edge or on device deployment performs local inference but doesn't align with centralized prediction requirements. We'll delete this. We'll lock option B, real time, as the right choice. Now let's look at this. This is all about implementing batch deployment for scheduled prediction delivery. Option A says predictions are generated instantly once feature inputs are received. Instant prediction aligns with real-time deployment, not batch processing. Therefore, wrong answer. Now let's move to option B. B says none of the listed statements describe batch deployment. Pre-computed predictions storage is a valid description of batch deployment. Therefore, a wrong answer. Now let's move to option C. C says predictions are pre-computed and stored for later access. Looks good because batch deployment involves scheduled prediction generation followed by storage for future querying. Let's keep it. Option D says predictions are generated as data arrives and stored for later access. On arrival, prediction reflects streaming behavior, not scheduled batch execution. Wrong answer. We'll lock option C as the right answer. Okay, now let's look at this. This is all about real-time deployment. Option E says click. Click builds command line interface but doesn't support packaging for deployment. We'll delete this. We'll move to now option B. B says structured streaming. Structured streaming handles data flow processing, not application packaging. We'll delete this. Now let's move to C. C says Docker. Docker packages the application with its tools and libraries, making it suitable for consistent real time deployment across environments. Let's keep it. Now let's move to option D. D says Flask. Flask serves APIs but doesn't manage environment level packaging for deployment. Let's delete it. We'll lock option C, Docker, as the right answer. All right. Now let's look at this. Option E says scikit-learn models cannot be deployed for parallel inference. ML Flow supports parallel deployment using Spark UDFs. Hence incorrect. Let's move to option B. B says mlflow.spark.pandas UDF. So mlflow.spark.pandas UDF wraps pandas logic, not scikit-learn models. Wrong answer. Let's move to option C. C says mlflow.sklearn.spark.udf. mlflow.sklearn.spark.udf is not a valid MLflow API for parallel deployment. We'll delete this. You'll move to now option D. D says mlflow.pyfunc.spark.udf. mlflow.pyfunc.spark.udf creates a parallelizable function from the registered model, making it suitable for distributed deployment. We'll lock option D as the right answer. All right. Now let's look at this. This is all about fraud detection system. Option E says edge or on-device. Edge or on-device deployment performs local inference but doesn't support centralized fraud detection across transaction streams. Incorrect. We'll move to now option B. B says real-time. Real-time deployment computes predictions instantly as each transaction is received, making it suitable for immediate fraud detection. We'll keep it. Option C says batch. Batch deployment introduces delay due to grouped processing, which is unsuitable for immediate fraud evaluation. Wrong choice. Let's move to option D. D says streaming. Streaming deployment handles continuous input but lacks the instant prediction response required for fraud detection. We'll eliminate it. We'll lock option B, real time, as the right choice. If you want the PDF version of this course, please enroll in Diamond membership or above by clicking the join button now. Once enrolled, please connect and inbox me on LinkedIn at the rate of CloudGuruAmit or Instagram at the rate of AmitPhysique. I'll be glad to help you out with the PDF version of this course, including hands-on files when available for this course. Thank you so much. Let's meet in our next lecture.